What is the best alcohol to drink at social events? I only fail strict carnivore when I drink alcohol. It's hard not to drink at events with friends. Any thoughts, Dr. Baker?
Yeah, I don't drink alcohol. I mean, it's a silly question. I mean, alcohol's a poison. I mean, uh, what's the best alcohol to drink? The one that you're not going to, maybe the most disgusting stuff that you can find, so you don't drink it. I mean, there's no redeeming qualities in alcohol, and to make that excuse to predetermine that you're going to fail, that you can't enjoy your life without being drunk or inebriated, is to me, just kind of, more or less ridiculous. You can certainly rank order alcohols by degree of awfulness, but I mean, it's generally just a bad idea in general. So I would not try to justify any type of alcohol. If you drink, okay, you've done it, but don't ask me to condone it. I'm not going to. I mean, it'll happen, but there's no good alcohols.
Sparkling water on ice with the squeeze of lemon or lime.
So I stopped drinking during the rugby season when I was 21. I was one of those kids that I enjoyed drinking as a teenager. I really liked the culture in rugby. Uh, in no small part due to the party aspect, the drinking aspect, things like that. Something I really enjoyed. And then I turned 21, and I went to the bar and went, "Oh, look, I can go here legally now." And I just like instantly realized, like, I've been coming here for 3 years, just illegally on the fake ID or being snuck in the back door by my rugby friends. Instantly, the thrill was gone, and I just sort of was, just not as thrilled by it. And I ended up stopping drinking for several weeks, and I just felt so much better physically, and I was playing so much better that I just said, okay, well, I'm just going to try not drinking during the whole season. So for me, it was very strange at first, and it was very awkward when I was out and not drinking when other people were drinking. I felt very self-conscious. I felt very strange, but I did it. The next week, I still felt self-conscious and weird, but it wasn't as bad. Third week, sort of neutral. Fourth week, I actually preferred it. And now I have no problem going out into drinking social situations and not drinking. I don't feel compelled to drink. I don't feel, it's not like a dare program where people are like, oh, why aren't you drinking? All that sort of, I just don't care. And no one else really cares either. If you're just there having fun and you're not being weird, then they don't care either. So it's just something you can get used to. So, it's not that you need to avoid those situations, but maybe for a little bit you should avoid it just to get used to not drinking for a while. But you can get used to these situations and get comfortable in those situations and still have just as good of a time, if not better, when you're sober, and then you don't have to spend hundreds of dollars on a stupid bar tab. You can actually drive home, and you're not just a wreck doing stupid things. So it actually ends up being better. So I actually prefer going out now sober, but I've have a lot of experience doing that. But you can. It just takes a couple times getting used to it, and it actually preferable afterwards.
Yeah, I'll just add one more point. If you, again, think about who you surround yourself with. If you only find people that can only enjoy themselves if they get drunk, you're hanging out with the wrong people. So think about that long term. I mean, it may suck in the short term. You might have to sever some ties with the relationships, but if you can't be around a place with these people without having to give yourself brain damage to do it, then you need to rethink what you're doing.
For a lot of us, the carnivore diet exposed the fact that we have addictions that we're dealing with. It's not just maybe the weight issue or the health issue. It's that we've been addicted to something, whether it was alcohol or food or drugs or a lot of other things. And if you are fighting those addictions this way, then you definitely have to take a step back and say, you know what, I love you, but I can't participate in what you're doing because it's taking me down a road that I can't go down. And all I need is a justification to partake in one of my previous addictions, and I'll jump at it, just like many other people who are addicted. And you got to remember, most of the population is addicted to what's in our food right now because it's been designed to hit a bliss point in your body and in your mind that causes you to keep coming back for it, just like a regular drug does. And a lot of that came from the tobacco companies taking over and really putting that into high gear. But you go all the way back to the 1940s when the notion of the bliss point was even invented by somebody at General Foods. They're trying to get you hooked on their product. Well, we're hooked on so many things these days. It can be a very difficult thing socially to adapt to this, but you've got to remember you're doing this for health purposes. So yeah, maybe sometimes you do have to take a step back from people that are in your life who are in that addiction process, in that addiction mode, because we tend to group together and enjoy our addictions. And it's a tough battle, but it's something that you can win. And that's one of the things I love about this carnivore community being here, is because we can support each other in that process. I mean, a lot of us are addicts living in a crack house, and it's very difficult without somebody to give you that support. So that's why I love this community.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Dante, because, I had a whole lot of addictions before I did carnivore. I had nicotine addiction, gambling addictions, sugar addictions, caffeine addictions. And what was crazy, the most unexpected thing about carnivore was when my hormones healed, my compulsive addictive nature went away completely. I quit a 20+ year nicotine habit without even trying to. I wasn't even trying to. It was something healed in my brain, and I didn't want it anymore. My body didn't want it anymore. I had, this gambling addiction that I had that I had on the shelf, but the monkey was always on my back, completely melted away after getting hormonally healthy. So I think there is something huge there. Whatever is going on with our food is making us incredibly impulsive, to an extent that I would have never imagined that healing your body through food could have done that. So I think you hit the nail on the head.
Can I add one other thing, that plants are highly fermentable in our gut, and fermenting plants makes alcohol. So essentially our children are walking around with alcohol in their brains and their body. And so that's one of the main reasons we become addicted to it, because it's another thing like nicotine, caffeine, and alcohol, and many other drugs that are in plants that addict our brain and damage it.
If we pay extra, could we maybe get some grease or fat?
It's still coming out.
I love it just as much as I did before.